Welcome, beautiful souls. Welcome to Discover the Alchemy of Self, a journey of psychosynthesis and awakening. Thank you so much for being here and for being a part of learning about such a profound program that is so close to our hearts. It's been really our most cherished creation thus far, and we're so excited to go on the Alchemy of Self journey 2.0, the second cohort of the group. So before we get started, let's just take a moment to arrive. So just wherever you're at, just close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Just take a few conscious deep breaths and just allowing yourself to land, not just physically, but also energetically. So just imagine bringing your energy back home, back to your body. You've been guided here for a reason. And today is an invitation to pause, to reconnect with your essence, and remember what's always been within you. Our intention for today is simple. It's to reconnect with the self beyond roles, stories, and identities. To explore what the alchemy of self truly is as an experience of transformation and not just a concept. And to remember that everything you seek is already within you, just waiting to be integrated. And so this moment you can also call forth your personal intention. What would you like to get out of this call, to receive on this call? Whether there is clarity, inspiration, peace. And then just take one last deep cleansing breath together, breathing in and breathing out with a sigh. Beautiful. Just whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Coming back to our circle. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you so much for receiving. So before we step into the Alchemy of Self and how the Alchemy of Self came to life, would love to share a little bit about who we are and why this work is so close to our hearts. I'm Claudia Muktiramjaya from the Kalinatha Yoga lineage, from an ashram in Sebastian, Florida, called Kashi Ashram. And I am a certified psychosynthesis coach, visionary leader, and creator of the Alchemy of Self. It's been such a joy to birth this transformational work. My background is in women's work, personal transformation, and deep spiritual mentorship, guiding women to awaken their inner wisdom, embody self-leadership, and reclaim their divine feminine power. Now, for more than a decade, my path has been devoted to helping others awaken their true essence. I actually began that journey through personal branding, helping others reconnect to their true essence and give voice to their purpose. But over time, the work evolved, and I began weaving together the worlds of psychology, which is one of my passions, spirituality, another one of my passions, yoga, another passion, energy medicine, and mystery school teachings to create spaces for genuine transformation. My journey has led me through years of study of psychosynthesis and transpersonal psychology, as well as deep practices within ancient wisdom traditions. I've facilitated countless circles, retreats with my beloved, and also ceremonies for women, helping them reconnect to their divine essence and live in alignment with their truth. And through it all, one truth has become clear. that the most profound healing doesn't come from fixing or striving. It really comes from remembering who we truly are beneath all the layers and learning to bring ourselves into harmony.
Very nice. So not only is this a high five, you're also tag teaming me.
Yes.
Here I am. Hello, beloved souls. So you can guess it, I'm the co-founder, along with my baby and Great Spirit, of Purple Eagle Tribe and of the Alchemy of Self. And so we're going to be touching a little bit about that today, but a little bit about me. My name is Adam Pacitti, and a lot of you know that there's another name that I go by, Satya, which is Satya Ramjaya, also coming from the Kalinatha Yoga lineage, meaning devotion to God's truth. I like Satya because it's truthfulness, keeps me accountable in that way. And I'm honored to share this sacred space with you. I'm not going to go too much into the details of all the business development stuff that I do, but that's there. But more about like an intentionality for this space that we're creating today. And that goes like, my part of my life's work, and really the life's work that calls deepest to my heart, is devotion to guiding others into remembrance, guiding myself into remembrance. And that's the remembrance of who we truly are, like Claudia mentioned, beneath the layers of conditioning and of stories. And I've walked the path of awakening of the heart, of bridging Christ consciousness and transpersonal psychology, bringing in some ancient mystery teachings grounded and embodied in transformational work. I'm a certified psychosynthesis coach and trained in guiding the soul's evolution through the harmonization of the psyche and the spirit. And also a 200-hour Kalinatha yoga teacher and training certification. And I've got a devotional lineage rooted in divine feminine and masculine energies. Most of the trainings and the things we've done are anchored in both, neither one or the other, but both together. My journey's also led me through certifications in Akashic Records, Reiki healing, and initiations along with my beloved through a school of mysteries. And we've been deepening this practice and service to the light and the remembrance of unity through all of these practices, bringing them all together, kind of culminating into the alchemy of self and into the work of psychosynthesis. In every space that I hold, I bring, either whether it's coaching or ceremony or even in conversation, my intention is to create a sanctuary of presence and a place where stillness speaks and where love restores and where each soul can touch the infinite wisdom that's already within us. With that, may our time together be a living prayer today and the awakening of truth, of remembrance, and radiant peace in the heart of each one of us, in the heart of each one of us that we touch in our lives once we leave this call. Yes. Thank you for being here.
Beautiful. Thank you, baby. And in 2019, we founded Purple Eagle Tribe, our space devoted to coaching, transformation, and the awakening of the souls. And really, we wanted to create a vehicle that could hold both the practical and the mystical, a community that could support souls in their awakening, in their healing, finding home, finding their soul tribe, finding their community. And as Adam mentioned, helping people remember who they truly are. And so together we've built the Alchemy of Self, and it's a map and also a living transmission. And we're so proud of showing this work. This is not theoretical with us. This work is lived, experiential, embodied, and deeply personal. And so we're so happy to open up the space and give you a glimpse of what this work has done for others and also what the journey entails. So without further ado, let's move on to the story of how the Alchemy of Self came to be. So the Alchemy of Self is a culmination of over 12 years of personal development, spirituality, shamanic practice, and the study of psychosynthesis. The seed for this program was planted last summer, and it was born from a deep need to create an offering that could support our clients and our students in a more sustained and transformative way. I am all about embodiment and integration. And so that's one of the reasons why we designed a year-long program, so that the work wouldn't just stay in the intellect, would actually become a living experience. And through the work of working many years with individuals, with couples, with groups, we recognized that many people had done the work, right? Whether it was therapy, coaching, ceremonies, different things, but something was still felt incomplete, right? It's like we understood ourselves intellectually, but we weren't living from that integrated, peaceful center that we are. And so that realization inspired us to weave together the profound teachings of psychosynthesis and transpersonal psychology, creating that bridge between modern psychology and ancient spiritual wisdom. And what emerged was nothing short of a miracle. And it's really been a living, breathing journey designed to help you find that inner transformation and support in embodying all that we have learned in over a decade of study, and find a way to guide others through that transformation themselves. The name Alchemy of Self came through as a divine download, and it just immediately, as soon as it came through, the vision crystallized effortlessly, and just like that, the Alchemy of Self was born. Now, what is psychosynthesis? You may be wondering, right? Psychosynthesis was founded in 1911 by Dr. Roberto Assagioli. He was an Italian psychiatrist and contemporary of both Freud and Jung. That year, Assagioli published his first paper distinguishing psychosynthesis from psychoanalysis, marking the formal birth of the field. He envisioned it as a more expansive psychology that included not just the unconscious, as Freud focused on, but also the superconscious or higher dimensions of human potential, creativity, intuition, spiritual realization, and will. Psychosynthesis is a holistic approach to human growth that bridges psychology and spirituality, and it's been called the psychology with a soul. And so where traditional psychology often focuses on what's wrong, psychosynthesis asks, what is trying to emerge? What's the higher potential seeking expression through you? Psychosynthesis teaches us that we are not our emotions, we are not our thoughts or our behaviors. We are the self that can observe, guide, and harmonize them. And through psychosynthesis, we get different tools for integration, like disidentification, which basically means stepping back from our parts and observing them with compassion. Subpersonalities, understanding the many selves that live within us. Will and love, aligning inner energy with our higher purpose. And now to break it down just a little deeper in what transpersonal psychology is, which was founded in the late 1960s. Some of you may have heard the name Abraham Maslow, Stan Grof, Anthony Sudish, and James Fadiman were the ones behind this new branch of psychology that went beyond the personal self, right? It went into the spiritual, mystical, and higher dimensions of consciousness. This is the realm of love, wisdom, intuition, and higher will. This is the level where we recognize and we remember that we are not separate. We are divine consciousness having a human experience. And this is where the alchemy of self comes in. It's a journey that integrates both the psychological and the spiritual, guiding you to live from that center, right? To be able to embody your wholeness and to express your true essence in the world. So now we're going to guide you into an experience so that you can feel what this center is about. Psychosynthesis, even though there is some theory that goes along with it, every concept is paired with an actual experience so that you can you can have direct experience of what these concepts that we talk about are, and you can feel them in your body.
Yeah, a big part of the alchemy of self is there is a certain amount of learning information, but then there's equally it's sort of that masculine and feminine aspect to the experiential as well. So every one of our sessions, every one of the modules that we cover has the didactic aspect and then the personal practice aspect. And that personal practice is very gentle and also very deep, also very smooth. So we create the beautiful polarity of being able to just simply steep ourselves in the work with a daily practice that doesn't take up a whole lot of extra time in our busy lives. So with that, we would love to bring you into a space where you get to experience some of this. If you're able to, and you feel comfortable to do so, we're going to go to a closed eyes experience together now. If you're not able to close your eyes, you can be intentional about that. But if you are able to and you feel comfortable doing so, just take a deep inhale in, and then on our exhale, just let those drapes, those curtains of our eyelids close. Just keep focusing on your breath here. I'm going to play some music for us to enjoy while we tune into this space together. Just keep focusing on our inhale and our exhale here for a period of time. Simplicity of the presence of our breath. Let's take a moment to experience the essence of the alchemy of self together. Allow your body to soften with each exhale and even arrive even more fully than our initial tuning in. Inhaling love, exhaling relaxation. Feel your body being supported by the surface beneath you and the earth beneath that supporting you as well. The earth being steady and alive, eternal and present. With every breath, you settle in a little more deeply into this moment. And with your next inhale and exhale, bring yourself even more present inside within you. Touching inward. Imagine yourself standing.
Now, go ahead and imagine yourself standing at the center of a quiet inner landscape. A still, sacred space within your being. Around you, in a gentle circle, are the many parts of who you are. See them appearing one by one. The achiever, determined, focused, wanting to move forward. That part of you that holds the drive. The caregiver, the part of you that is nurturing, giving, and sometimes tired. The critic, the part of you that is sharp, analytical, and often trying to keep you safe. The dreamer, full of imagination and vision. The inner child, tender, playful, and pure. And these are just some of our parts, but each of us have our own unique set of parts or sub-personalities. Now, each part has served you. Each carries wisdom and love, even if sometimes through pain or protection. Now take a slow breath in, and as you exhale, simply acknowledge them.
These parts of us are not separate from us. They are expressions. Now imagine these parts gently forming a luminous circle around you, facing inward toward the calm, steady center you. At the center of this circle is a conscious self and the I, the awareness that observes, that feels, and holds everything without judgment. Yourself now is light, radiant, calm, and vast.
The still point at the center of all movement. As you breathe, each part begins to soften. The achiever relaxes its striving. The caregiver exhales its burden. The critic quiets its voice. The dreamer smiles with openness. And the child feels safe to rest. With every breath, the circle draws closer to your center. All parts are coming home. Breathe into your heart and exhale through your heart. And feel warmth expanding in your chest. A sense of unity, acceptance, and peace. Now whisper softly to yourself, I am the presence that holds it all. I am the awareness behind every part. I am whole.
Now imagine this inner light, yourself, expanding outward, filling your body, your mind, your energy field. It's as if the entire circle of your inner world is merging into one radiant current of love. Let this light travel up through your crown, the top of your head, connecting to source, to spirit, to the field of consciousness that holds all of life. Now, as this field of consciousness and light moves down again in through your body, let it ground through your body and into earth, anchoring you deeply in presence. You are the bridge between heaven and earth. A being of consciousness, rooted and radiant. Right here, there is nothing to fix and nothing to prove. Only remembering.
This is your center, the seat of the self, the place you return to when life pulls you in many directions. Here you are whole, here you are free. Now take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, let a smile form from your heart. A smile of recognition, of peace, and of homecoming. And then very, very gently return back to our circle, feeling the weight of your body on a chair, wiggling your fingers and toes, and then gently opening your eyes whenever you're ready. Beautiful.
I can tell by some of the expressions on your faces that some people went somewhere quite lovely, wherever that lovely place is.
Yep. And every call, we guide you through a deep meditation like this one, right? That helps you to remember and reconnect.
Yeah, and each one of these meditations, as it were, actually grab and hold and pull in the different aspects of psychosynthesis.
Yep.
You know, of the connection with the self, of the parts, you know, that Claudia was speaking about, the achiever, the little boy, the little girl, you know, and really what they are is standing around the center of this pure awareness and will that is our space that is always here, you know, as guardians.
Yes, so
as
beautiful.
helpers.
So what you just experienced, and feel free to type in the chat what you experienced. A couple of words for what that connection.
So that's good feedback.
Yep. Just type in what connecting with that center felt like with you. For some of you, this may be the first time you're connecting to that center. For some of you, you may have already connected with this. And the work that we strive to do is keep remembering and reconnecting to this center so that we can retrain ourselves, reprogram our consciousness to live from this center and find that space of stillness, peace, and freedom. Mm-hmm. And so what you just experienced is one of the foundational practices of psychosynthesis that we practice in the Alchemy of Self, a process we call centering into the I. In psychosynthesis, the I is the conscious self, the awareness and will at the very core of our being. The I is the observer, the director, the loving presence that holds all of your subpersonalities or the different parts of you, not by control, but with compassion. And when you connect with this center, you stop living as fragments and you start living as the whole. And you begin to make choices from awareness and not from reaction. And this is the alchemy, where the many become one. And every time you return to this center, you strengthen your connection with your essence. And from there, life begins to align naturally. So this is the experience we cultivate throughout the Alchemy of Self journey, learning not just to understand the self, but to live from the self. The Alchemy of Self is a 13-month transformational journey that guides you through process like this. We explore self-personalities and inner parts, healing the inner child, the transpersonal self and higher will, the ideal model. And we do so through live classes, community connection, integration calls, and retreats. And we'll go into the details of what the journey is going to look like. Now, this work has changed many lives. We're so grateful for that, to have an offering that is really making a difference in people's life and our contribution to humanity during a time of so much fragmentation, opposition, separation, duality. And so here's a glimpse of some of the transformation that our students, some of our students have experienced. We have case study number 1, our dear Sean Provost.
Can I read this one?
Sure.
Let's do this. Sean felt stuck in familiar emotional patterns and tired of operating from the wounded inner parts. In his transformation with the tools to observe himself in real time and shift in his perspective, he's reclaimed parts of himself that had been lost and forgotten. And the outcome is he now moves through life with more confidence, compassion, and grounded presence, especially in relationships. And a little personal word from Sean.
And a special, yes.
I reclaim my parts of myself and I didn't know I had lost. It gives me the tools to change, or gives you the tools to change your life from the inside out. We always say it's an inner job.
Yeah, it's inside job. And if any of you feel called at any point to want to reach out to any of our students to hear from them or their transformation is like, they would love to speak. Then we have Sister Tasnova, who I believe is on the call today. Is she on the call? Yes. Yes. So the challenge, Tasnova felt deeply disconnected from herself, ungrounded, uncertain, and unsure how to move forward. By identifying subpersonalities and integrating the psychological functions, she gave voice to hidden parts and strengthened her sense of self. The outcome? She now feels deeply connected to her inner truth, can observe her patterns with compassion, and make empowered choices. And Tasnova says, this program helped me reconnect to the core of who I am. I can now identify patterns, choose more consciously, and show up with clarity. Yes, and she's doing incredible, incredible work with the Alchemy of Self. And our last case study.
You want me to read it? Okay. So this is Regina, Sister Regina, who actually has now taken the steps to move into the next step of some of the transpersonal and psychosynthesis work, which is going on to further study with other groups that are available around the world. Regina came into the program feeling emotionally dysregulated. There's a typo there we'll have to fix, and often reactive and impulsive. She struggled to process her internal world and lacked tools to navigate her emotions. Everybody can raise their hands to that, right? And through transformation is through learning how her subpersonalities were formed and using disidentification, some of the tools that we cover in the course, and the higher self practices, Regina began to respond rather than react. Imagine a world living like that, right? She cultivated emotional balance, self-compassion, and confidence. Regina now navigates relationships with clarity and is no longer run by her wounded parts. Personal note from Regina.
Yes, and again, this is a work in progress. We're constantly doing the work, right? It's not like it's one and done, but she has the tools now and she can live from her center more times than being being run by the wounds.
And a personal word. All areas of my life have improved. I have a more balanced emotional state, deeper compassion for myself, and more confidence in how I navigate conflict. This program is a life changing. It's all capital, so I had to read it like that. Claudia and Adam are the real deal. Not capital, but I felt like singing it also. And I trust them so much.
Yes,
We love
thank you so much. It's
Regina.
also
We
done
love
so
you,
beautiful
Casanova.
work.
We love you, Sean. Thank you for
She
the work.
fell in love with the framework and psychosynthesis so much that she's moving on to become a certified coach herself.
Yeah.
So there are as many ways to this work, and we're so happy to bring people to the work of psychosynthesis. Now, I would like to invite, if there are any students, soon to be graduates, that would like to share your own experience. There's nothing better than hearing it from the students or themselves.
Just unmute yourself and share if you feel called to do
Anybody
so.
feels called to share a few words? We'll stop sharing the screen.
Lisa Renee.
Of course, this program has been just an absolute eye-opener for me to recognize these different parts of myself that have been running me and making decisions for me.
Mhm.
And I'm feeling more grounded in all of me, and the alchemization and the harmonization that we're striving for. I mean, I'm going to share like a real experience that, some of you heard on the ACIM call today. Is the truck backing up too much? It just stopped. Okay.
You can hear it.
Thing.
Okay. So,
Beep. Sorry.
so I've met a lot of different parts of myself, but most recently it has been the part of me that has been trapped in pain, in the inflammation that's in my body. And I asked to meet the part of myself that I'm going to say that again. I asked to meet the part of myself that thought she needed to be in pain and suffering and to not be supported. And so this part of me showed up and said, here I am, look at me now, integrate me now. I am screaming. And I really got to come, without these tools and going through this experience, I would not be where I am now. I mean, I'm still in the most pain of my life, and I'm already grateful for the experience because I know that I will never allow that again. I will never allow her to be screaming in my body again. I got to be the one screaming outside of my body and like really feel her and feel this part of myself that has been just in so much pain. And so there are many different parts: the worthless part, the worthiness, not believing that I was worthy to, bring money in and take care of myself and, these things. And I've gotten to integrate that part of myself. My business is really growing and kind of booming. And I've gotten to experience this just like major transformation in so many different directions of my life throughout this experience. And as I've been, processing and going through this kind of, on the other side of the pain portal, I mean, there is a song coming that is about honoring the parts of me. And it would not exist without this program and without Adam and Claudia and just everyone here that, for the last year that we've been committing ourselves to doing this deep transformational work. And I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
That's us dancing
I
to
get
your
chill.
song already.
I get chills. I just get chills. So much gratitude. Thank you, sister. It's been a deep journey for you, and you just been integrating the work, in a really powerful way. And, there's different kinds of students. There's some people that love to receive the knowledge. Other people are more experiential. And, and it's amazing to know, like, just showing up to the classes,
Yep,
you can experience the transformation.
absolutely.
There is integration, soul work, different tools that we give you to support the teachings, but just being in the calls themselves, going through the exercises and bringing it to life, you can experience a transformation. And Lisa has been a beautiful example of that. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you so
There's
much.
so much of a human condition, Lisa, right? That like wants to know, like, what is this for? What do I get out of this? What will it do for me? All the things, but just the tools alone of like, oh, I can open it up and I have this concept, right? And I can grab this concept when, you know, the exact moment of, oh, this is what this is for. Let me grab this concept, this tool. You know, we were talking with another brother yesterday actually about, you know, there's a hammer and a screwdriver and a wrench and all the things, and whichever one we need to pull. In this case, oh, what is this part of myself, right? Like even just being like, how do we know to even ask that question, right? And then that part of self that's already existing, right? Already been hanging out for however many years you've been on this earth, and whenever that part of self was developed, right? There's usually pretty early on, and it's making all these choices and decisions. You said parts of myself make deciding for me, was a quote that I wrote down that you said. So like, if there's that part of self in the subconscious that's literally screaming, we don't even know that she's there, she's making decisions, and it's impacting all the parts of life, right? So being able to just be aware, whoa, that's where I could be choosing from, and now I can reparent her, ask her what she needs, and choose from this whole loving expression that you are, and then the abundance on the other side of it. So like abundance is already locked within, right? Abundance it's just the things that we put in the way of it. That's what I'm hearing you say, like, oh, there's this one screaming person within me, that is, and we can learn deeper on this course, like how to really connect with those parts of ourselves and actually visualize them.
Yes, and bring him to from fragmentation into wholeness.
Right.
And the idea is that you can integrate all the different parts into that I that we guided you today, and be able to live from that experience.
It's a real deal.
Yeah, so let's continue on. Thank you, Lisa, for the beautiful, beautiful share. It's always so great to hear from the person. Thank you so much. So the spiral of the alchemy of self.
Yes.
Before we walk you through the journey of the alchemy of self, we want you to know something important. This is not a linear program. It's not about climbing upward, checking boxes, right? It's a spiral. And each turn brings you deeper into your truth and higher in consciousness.
Yeah.
You begin at the roots, grounding into who you are, and then you rise cycle by cycle through flow, through love, light, purpose, and embodiment until wholeness becomes your lived reality. So in this moment, just take a slow, deep breath with me. And just imagine, you can close your eyes if you feel moved, but just imagine a luminous spiral within you. Just unfolding, expanding, and remembering. That's your own unique spiral of the alchemy of self. You can open your eyes.
And before you move on past this image here,
Yes.
as you can see, like this image is profound. That back in high school, I used to have these like notebooks that had these images on it. I liked it because it was rather psychedelic, you know, and I was into that sort of thing back then, and still now. And then, you know, there are so many different parts of self continually that are each spirals within ourselves, including the I. And so, you know, this work is a lifelong practice, right? Like I can have, like Lisa was just sharing, we can have the part of ourselves that is seeking to be remembered, whatever part of that self, and that's just one of the spirals. And then in that we implement all these different tools. But then there's, you know, the lover and the one that needs to be seen, and all these beautiful spirals that are actually creating this beautiful tapestry of life, right? But in the center of it all is that stillness, and this is what the spiral of the alchemy of self is. It's very much not linear. It's multi-dimensional, and it's not to get lost in it. It's like this cosmology, and being able to deploy the tools into each one of these spirals that are going on within and around us.
And be able to come back to and further integrate.
Yeah.
Right, you'll come back and you further integrate some of what you've
out and in and out.
You've experienced. So the journey begins in sacred space and coming together at the Sacred Beginnings Retreat, our beautiful home sanctuary, Villa Sol. Here, we root into the earth and into our purpose. We set our intentions, We plant seeds of transformation, and we open the energetic field for the work ahead. We connect to the root chakra. This is a program that's aligned with the chakras, and also we work with the elements and support you in starting with grounding, stability, and belonging, right? So that we can remember that true transformation must be rooted in safety and presence. And at this retreat, this is the foundation of the spiral. This is where the journey begins. And when you say to yourself and the universe, I am ready to awaken. Then we move on to module 1. From the sacred grounding, we enter the first turn of the spiral, which is awareness. Here we work with earth alchemy. We continue to work with earth alchemy, continuing to build that stability as consciousness awakens. And you begin to observe yourself, to recognize inner polarities, to realize that you are not your thoughts or emotions, but the awareness behind them. It's the moment your consciousness begins to witness itself when you finally say, I am aware. This is the birth of the inner observer, the foundation of all transformation. And from there, from awareness, once awareness is born, we move on to module 2, where we begin to integrate. So this is the water alchemy, the realm of emotional healing and inner flow. Here you meet the many parts of yourself, the inner voices, the sub-personalities, the ones we connected with today, the protector, the dreamer, the critic, and many more that keep revealing themselves as the journey goes on. And you bring them home through compassion, right? This is where the inner war begins to soften, right? Fluidity returns, harmony begins to take form. And you can say, I welcome all parts of me home. This is the alchemy of emotional integration, and where we turn fragmentation into wholeness. And as the waters calm, the spiral rises into our module 3, into air alchemy, or the alchemy of love. In this module, you reconnect with your inner child. You heal all wounds and you release limiting beliefs. You learn to love yourself not as an ideal, but as a living being, human, tender, divine. Love becomes the bridge between your human self and your higher self. Fear transforms into trust. Pain becomes compassion. Here you say and you lead with love. And this is where the emotional freedom begins, where the heart becomes your compass. And I have to say that is there's many things that we've witnessed in our students, but one of the main that the students kept sharing was compassion. How they were able to really, first of all, give compassion to themselves, right? Because it begins there. Giving compassion to each of the parts, the wounded parts, and observing without judgment, and then being able to integrate them with love. And so through that work, then, the students and others are able to hold space with compassion to others, which is huge, right? And so it's really been this beautiful softening that occurs when you integrate and when you lead from the heart.
Even studying like the previous of working with the different sub-personalities, we then have the awareness within us to see what's going on when somebody else is speaking with us, to us, at us, whatever it might be, in any part of life. So not only is it an inner alchemy, it's also alchemizing without. It's all an inside job, right? There is no separation, but it allows us to approach every conversation that's happening in real time with these awarenesses of, oh, this is person expressing from perhaps a part of themselves, not trying to label what that is or judge it, but just being the awareness and being able to approach it now with an open heart and love distinct from shutting down, judging, and all the different aspects that come, right? It's a 2 for 1.
Yes,
Many
it
to
is.
one. That's how we like to do it.
And then comes module 4. And here we tap into ether alchemy. This is the bridge between the worlds. This is where the personal self learns to align with the transpersonal self, the soul's higher wisdom. And you begin to feel the presence of something greater guiding you from within. You learn that alignment becomes, or you experience that alignment becomes less about striving and more about surrender, right? And deep trust in life's intelligence. Here, you become the bridge between the soul and form. This is the alchemy of alignment, the meeting point of human and divine within you. And then with alignment comes illumination, light alchemy. This is module 5. And here we craft your ideal model, which is the luminous image of your realized self. And through imagination, visualization, you begin to embody the highest version of yourself. False identities fall away, the expected self, the projected self, the persona.
What will they think about me, self?
Yes. And what remains is pure authenticity. Here in this module, you see yourself with clarity, the self that you're becoming. And this is the alchemy of illumination, turning illusion into divine vision and vision into embodiment.
These step-by-step modules, like if we were to say, tell me about your ideal self, your ideal model of your life, ways of being, how life would look and all that right now, without going through the previous steps along the way of who and what part of myself is saying that that is who I am or what I want life to be, right? I'm trying to fill in things that are quote unquote missing or needed or wanted or any of these things. This is why we move into vision and the ideal model later in the stages to be able to have the tools to come from a space of pure awareness and will, as it said by Roberto Assagioli, the founder of Transpersonal or
Yes.
Psychosynthesis.
And something super important is like every module is very profound. This one in particular is very profound because we give ourselves an opportunity to dissolve the false identities. And what happens is a lot of the times when we are manifesting, we're manifesting from a false self that we don't even know it's a false self. So here in this module and with this work, you're able to distinguish what's false from what's real and be able to dismantle the false. So it's a really profound, module that really connects you to your truth and your authenticity.
Yeah.
And then the next spiral ignites. This is fire alchemy, another super powerful module. This is module 6. Here you awaken the power of will, that sacred force that brings vision into form. And you learn that true will is not control or domination. It is cooperation with the universal will.
Mm-hmm.
You move from forcing life to flowing with life. From trying to make things happen to co-creating with divine intelligence. How many of you here in the call feel like you're constantly trying to make things happen? Right, just constantly. Yeah. And also, having a war within, right? You're like in constant conflict, inner conflict within yourself.
Somebody once said during our course that they went from, asking and forcing kind of into asking a different question of like, what will you have me do today? Higher self, God, spirit, goddess, whatever that is for us. What will you have? It's the same thing, thy will be done, or thy will and mine are one, right? So not like, I need to X, Y, Z, A, B, C, stress, reaction, do. What will you have me do today? And I have my checklist.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a different perspective of looking at things.
And here you learn you don't have to do life alone, which is a lot of the times what happens is we forgot that we're a part of a great
tapestry of life. Yeah.
Being, right, a great orchestra that's already moving through us. And so when we become aware of that and we awaken to that, and then we become one, right? Thy will and mine are one. We become
Awesome.
one with the universal will, right? This is the alchemy of empowerment. So where effort becomes ease. Who wants more ease in their life? Who would like to experience more ease? Yeah, exactly. Right? Action becomes inspired. So it is possible. This is all possible. These are not just ideas or concepts. It is possible to be able to experience that kind of ease and flow and surrender in life. But there are some steps to get there, right? So you can't kind of prematurely get yourself to this. And that's the reason why a lot of the times people keep struggling, right? Because you have to go into your subconscious and integrate those aspects of the self that are fragmented first, before you can move on to connecting with higher self and what's called in this in the psychosynthesis as premature transcendence, right? When you want to transcend too soon.
Let me hang out up here. Meanwhile, grounding is being called for. But the cool thing is this divine participation and the will and mind are one. It's already happening, right? It's already is. So like the work is already done. I need do nothing, and there's still stories and feelings and parts and emotions and thoughts and feelings and imaginations and worst case scenarios and I should have done this, and context of a call that was on today earlier was forgiveness. But at the end of the day, the purity and the unity is already there. So we're working towards having the tools to keep cultivating this. In the chat right now, there's a word constantly. And this is why it's even some of the elders in this work that have been practicing this work since the 50s and 60s. It's such a simple practice, but it is consistent, and practice makes progress. And this is why we like to steep our tea bags of our humanness in this 13-month course to make sure that it's actually potent when we take a sip of this tea, and not just be like, oh yeah, I get these concepts. I've done all the transformational work. I know exactly who I am. Go. And we get to slow down and tune in together and
give ample time for each of these modules, these aspects. So you have time for that integration piece. And then the last module 7, finally the spiral completes and begins again.
Next spiral.
This is the alchemy of wholeness, right? Where all the elements unite: earth, water, air, fire, light, and ether, all harmonize within your center. And you're no longer studying transformation, you are the transformation. And this transformation has been happening throughout the whole course. But it really comes together in a beautiful synthesis of what all the modules have brought. And you allow yourself to just, move with love, with will, with wisdom, right? And just allow that purpose to merge into a radiant expression of who you are.
I just had the vision of like all these different cartoons that we came on, like the Thundercats or Voltron or something, and there's all these different parts of ourselves that gather together into this great and powerful one that is fearless and in unity with, it's like there's nothing that is quote unquote evil could even, that was like my favorite part of the show, when they'd all come together, the cartoon, and like, and that's really what this is. It's the living alchemy. It's the remembering, the bringing together the different members of our wholeness into one expression.
Yes. And in this module, you are the living synthesis of all that you are. And that's the moment that you realize the alchemist's work is no longer inside a vessel. You are the vessel. You are the flame. You are that medicine.
And the one who's observing it.
Yes. And then we close, right, as every great spiral comes full circle, we return once again to in person, come together in sacred space, to the celebration of self retreat. Again, our beautiful home sanctuary, Villa Sol. Here, we get to honor the transformation of everything that has unfolded. We reflect, we celebrate, we further integrate through different practices, and really anchor the embodiment of yourself, right, of your new self. It's a homecoming for yourself, a radiant completion of all that you have become. And in this part of our journey, you're whole, you're free, and you are home. This is the culmination of this spiral of the alchemy of self. So this is it. This is a spiral of the alchemy of self. The Alchemy of Self is a high-touch 13-month journey designed to provide the deepest level of personal life support that we can offer, guidance, integration, right? This is a premium coaching experience reflecting the depth of transformation that you'll receive, and you can't really quantify transformation, right? And so each spiral brings you home to your true nature, as you saw, not about adding any more, and this is very important. You're not going to be adding anything. You're just going to be remembering, and you're going to be releasing what's not true, right? Releasing the illusions. And so if you're feeling a quiet yes within you or a full body yes, right? If there's something that your heart recognizes as this is the path to go home, then this is your invitation to step into the alchemy of self.
Yep.
Now, how do you join the journey? We keep that container intimate. We're going for 20 beautiful souls, but we're open to those who feel called. I think we have about 5 spots that haven't been confirmed yet. So, if you are feeling the call, first step is to complete the application form, which I am going to post in the chat for you right now. So that's the first step. There you go. That's the landing page for the Alchemy of Self. And
it's not like, oh my God, I just bought a new car, so this just puts you
it's just an application, right? So first you apply, then immediately after that, you'll receive an email with an opportunity to book a call with us, your own Unlock Your True Self. And during that process, during that call, we're going to go over, your journey, what's unfolding for you right now, explore what the journey could look like for you personally, and we'll go into details, tuition, logistics, and whether the Alchemy of Self is truly aligned for your next evolution. Additionally, if you're curious and this is resonating, we do have a WhatsApp chat that we've created for those who are called to the Alchemy of Self. I'm going to also paste that in the chat so that if you feel that resonance, go ahead and join, because we'll be posting and we'll kind of give you updates about the journey. And we'll also share, any insights and important dates. And so, it's important to remember that you are not going to be doing more work, right? You're just going to be remembering. You are going to be, this is a program that will really give you the tools to embody that integration. And so if you feel the call, just trust it. Please reach out. In the call, we can go over all the details. We really don't want to let circumstances get in the way if you are committed. Ideally, you commit to going through the whole journey. Of course, things happen along the way, but for those who committed to the journey, kept showing up to the calls and doing the work, boom, the transformation is right there.
And it's beautiful. There's actually a couple people that, we understand life happens, right? So they were part of the way through the journey. They're actually picking up on this journey with us and starting from where they left off because we had just the timing and what have you. So the circumstances of the financial contribution and the circumstances of time, neither one of those need to get in the way. I want to take a moment to share that Lisa said it in her quote, parts of myself making decisions for me. So if we know that in life there are subconscious, or we're not aware that there are parts of ourselves, we think it's who we are, making choices in relationship, financially, business choices, self-care choices, all the thing. It's already happening all the time. And if we prescribe to the reality or construct that we're always manifesting from something, and it's showing up and it's reinforcing itself and it's becoming more concrete, why wouldn't we want to step into a place that we know where we're manifesting from who's making the choices and all those things. Because when we make a choice that's something that's a polarity or a part of ourselves, there's a roller coaster ride that we get to ride with that choice. When we learn these tools and pause and then ask ourselves different questions and then make that choice, that roller coaster ride, we can observe it. We don't necessarily have to be buckled in like, trying to give it away to God, give it to Spirit. What do I do? I need a coaching session, all the things. So it's like the Claudia and I come to a point where, like, circumstances of time and money, we can have a conversation about any of that with anyone, because there's ways to make it work. There's different options and to take care of the payments and what's going to happen. We're going to do these calls in the evening. And for anybody who's part of the group that's like, yes, I'm a yes, we all collectively come together and say, okay, what works best for each one? We actually, in our current program, we move the call around a few times to meet where everybody needs it to be at. And sometimes you have to take a break or handle something, or you're traveling or whatever. Each one of the calls are recorded, and there's an amazing workbook that unlocks as we go along the journey that you can go back and reference. And we're paired up with, buddies along the way, so, hey, I missed this. Can you help me? I'm a little stuck here. Let's have a conversation. Some of the current students that are in our program now are going to be joining us as mentors along the way. So they're going to be there to help. Hey, I have this question. And then also you get breakout sessions with Claudia and I along the journey as well to really dive into there's certain milestones that we'll share as far as, hey, we really can help you work with this. But no matter what it is, if there's a financial or time situation, but you want to do this, just say yes and have a conversation with us. We'll figure it out. Because this is way bigger than any of that stuff. This is really about how we show up for ourselves, with Spirit, and also for the world, and also the world for us, and how we perceive that. And as we witness things that are going on all the propaganda and the things in the social media and all the things of the world, it's really our heart's calling to be like, how beautiful is it to be able to find a center within when the chaos is going, to find that vortex, that spiral. And so please don't let circumstances get in the way. We can talk about that, whatever it is, and happy to work with whomever, however. We even have some different scholarship programs that we can talk to each one of you about, who has, there's an application that goes along with it, because it's not just, I need a scholarship. It's like, okay, this is really why, and this is what I'm up to, and this is how I can give back in the world. So there's those opportunities that some people have already said yes to, and we're here to make it work.
Yes, we are. We're so excited. If you feel that yes, please come along, and we'll open up for Q&A in just a moment. But thank you for being here, for showing up, for remembering, and for choosing this moment to remember who you truly are. And just take a deep breath and feeling the frequency of what was shared today. Just feeling that expansion. We honor you, we see you, and we're here to walk beside you as you can continue your journey home to the self. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much.